gig today. So I thought I'd check in, see how you're doing. A very nice Washburn AB-10 semi-acoustic bass here. Very nice it is too. Strung up with a set of Rotor Sound half wounds, pressure wound strings. I was going to do this live outside, but it's absolutely poleaxing, and the sunlight's so bright I wouldn't be able to see the screen, so I thought we'd do it just inside. So garden back door from the kitchen is there, and you're in my kitchen. The Chihuahua can barely keep his eyes open. He's got a belly full of food because he's just had his dinner. If you're watching, you've got a gig tonight. Hope everything goes well for you. If you've got any gigs over the weekend, enjoy. Enjoy every minute of it. Like I say, I'm playing tomorrow. I'm doing a gig over in Wales at Richard Hammond's castle. Oh, yes, castle. He's not there, but we're doing an event for his ex-wife, so should be a lot of fun. Oh. What's known in the industry as frimicking. Nothing of any consequence. I'm just fiddling about. Hey, who's that? I can't see the old glasses. The eyes aren't what they used to be. C. Tom, good to see you. Do I have a favourite bass player? Many. Jeff Bett. What's that? Gene Boomba. Hi. Cy Misen. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome to Brooks's Bass Corner. This is just an impromptu live chat. I do them from time to time. Favourite bass players? I have got many, but if you want me to pick 5, I did this the other night on a live chat, so I can do that, no problem. John Deacon of Queen, John Taylor of Duran Duran, Mark King of Level 42, Billy Sheehan, and I would have to say like a tie between Marcus Miller and Chris Squire of Yes. But I could literally rattle off like 100 bass players. But the 2 that got me playing in the first, how did I even forget? Bernard Edwards, so that makes it 6. In fact, I'll swap Bernard for Marcus. Marcus is just out of the 5, only by a small amount. So John Taylor and John Deacon were the 2 reasons I became a bass player. And I grew up listening to Chic because it was on the radio all the time. My mum had the radio on constantly when I was a kid, so I grew up at the time that Chic were everywhere, Earth, Wind and Fire were everywhere, the Bee Gees were everywhere, so all those great bass lines were going in the head without me even knowing. Clelton Webber, a bass with a Les Paul model. Don't know what you mean. It's a semi-acoustic Washburn AB-10. Preamps there, built-in tuner as well. In fact, I don't know. Have I got the battery in there? Oh, the battery's on the bottom. That's right. Has a XLR and jack, which is great. Stacey, good to see you. Leah Hamer, good to see you too. The Real Thomas, Danish Drum, best bass player. I don't know who that is. I'll have to do my homework, clearly. Mr. Anemone, what's the brand and model of your bass? It's a Washburn AB-10, not very expensive. A couple of levels down from my AB-40, which is upstairs. The videos on the channel of the AB-40. I haven't done a demo or a review of this yet. I need to do that, especially considering the channel's nearly 5 years old, and I've had this for 9 years. So I bought it as a backup to the AB-40 because about 9 years ago I was doing a lot of acoustic duo and trio work, and I didn't have a backup. And this came up for sale. Normally they're black, or occasionally you might get a sunburst one, but this white one sealed the deal. It's got a nice cream binding on the side. Very fetching. John Cooper, good to see you. You missed out on Tuesday, my man. We had Lee Sklar on the live chat for about 40 minutes. He may come back. He's got a permanent invite, so he can come on whenever he wants, so it's all good. You're out walking the dog, and your live stream notification just pops up. See? Occasionally YouTube gets things right, and it'll send out the notifications, but sometimes it doesn't do that. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you've got some gigs this weekend, John. Hazin Azim, you're working for Medicare. Okay, cool. In the States then, I would guess. Good to see you. Rock fan, hello again. I know you're from England, London, but happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there. Independence Day. There we are. What's that? Heretics. Let's just see what you're saying. Need to make sure I'm getting all the messages. Is it an acoustic bass? It's semi-acoustic. So it's all chambered, very light. You can plug it in. Jack socket there, XLR there, battery goes in there, preamp and tuner are on the top, right there. And very good it is too, but not expensive. Chibu, I'm still riding the high from your live stream with Lee Sklar. Thank you. I knew that would catch a few people out if he came on live. The best bit, if you watch it, if you go back and watch it, at around 14 minutes, I think, is when Lee appears. And the best bit is watching Richard, who's on camera at the time, because he had no clue. I didn't have any clue, but I could see Lee had just appeared. So I could bring him to screen. And Richard's face, when he realizes who it is, it's like, it's quite magical. It's like a child on Christmas morning and they've opened their big present. It's good. Hopefully we'll get some more of those. Now Lee's been on, I've actually got some equity there to go to the other named players that I know and say, look, Lee came on, why don't you come on? I send out these invites all the time to named players, but usually they're busy or they don't want to come onto camera, they don't want to get abused by trolls and all that, so they don't come on. But I think what sold it on Tuesday was the fact I guaranteed to Lee that any trolls would be dealt with. He wouldn't have to deal with any of them. He wouldn't even know that they were there. I'd bomb them out before he was aware, and it seemed to seal the deal. So it was all good. It was all good. And like I say, he's got an open invite to come onto the live stream any time he wishes. How did your concert go? Which one? The concert that the agent treated? That was last week. That was last Friday. It went amazingly well. It was a lot of faff. We did get some extra information out of the agent. Well, actually, it wasn't out of the agent. It was out of the client. But they still didn't give us the correct information because I ended up parking about 15-minute walk from the college. And as I'm walking down the road, suddenly realised the road, we have single yellow lines and double yellow lines. If double, you can't park there. Singles, you can park there from a certain time. And I'm walking down the road and I realised most of the road is single yellow line. We could have parked there. So I've learned that even though I don't particularly want to do any gigs in the centre of Oxford again, if I got asked to do one at that college, I know there's a single yellow line, which means I can park there after 7:30 or 6:30, whatever it is. And I haven't got to pay for a car park next time, but it's all good. But the gig was great. The audience were fabulous. We didn't get looked after particularly well. I didn't feel like the people that had booked us were particularly on the case, but it's all right. We turned up, we set up, got changed, went on stage, did the gig and went home again. I couldn't complain, and I got paid, so everything's good. Lusa, sir, can you play Lucid Dreams? I probably can, but I don't do play-alongs because I'm not going to get hit with a copyright strike for you or anyone else. But that's meant in a nice, polite way. But I don't do play-alongs because the YouTube algorithm will hit me with either a copyright claim, which means I have to pay the writer money, or I'll get hit with a copyright strike. You get 3 strikes and your channel gets deleted. So I don't do play-alongs. Sorry about that. Stacy, Tube You, same, it was surreal. We're talking about Lee Sklar. Kometsu, sir, can I request some songs? No, you can't, sorry. Luke Shuff, play Forever and Ever, Amen by Randy Travis. Nope. John Cooper, Lee Sklar, awesome. Saw that on Catch Up. Got a jazz gig tomorrow. Good, enjoy with the old double bass. Seeing Marcus Miller in Camden next Saturday. Will you enjoy that? I've got 3 gigs next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So sadly, it's just occurred to me. My gig on Saturday next week is a festival show. I might be able to make it to Camden in time now. Wouldn't that be a thing? I'll look into it. I might meet you there, John. 6:30 from Ipswich to Camden. I might make it. I might make it. It's whether I feel safe enough leaving a couple of bases in the car. And in Camden, that's probably not a good idea. We'll see. We'll see. If I could leave my base, actually, I could leave my bases with the band because we're doing the gig the next day. I'll look into that. Thank you for reminding me, John. I'll check that out later. See if the logistics all work out for me. Hey. John saying hello to Stacey. Mohammed Bryan, good to see you. Welcome. Melodic True Metal. Hi. So what's your channel about? Bass guitars. Well, not just electric bass guitars, semi-acoustic basses, fretlesses, bass amps, bass effects, great bass players. Check out. Got 700 videos here on the channel. We've been going for 5 years. I used to write for Bass Guitar Magazine and Bass Player Magazine. So if you have any interest in basses, this could be the channel for you. Play the guitar solo from Avenged Sevenfold. Nope. Where am I from? London, UK. Rock fan, you're liking the stream? Well, please, anyone watching, best thing you do for me, for this live chat, for the channel generally, give the video a thumbs up, please, if you would be so kind. Doesn't cost you anything. It's free to do it. It just helps the live stream and the channel get taken up by the YouTube algorithm. They'll pump it out to more bass players. We get more bass players on. We get more information to share. That's how it works. If you can give the video a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. The only professional bassist that passes his knowledge on for free. It's all for free. If you find anything on the channel you like, feel free to make a contribution via the super chat option or the super thanks. You don't have to. The videos are for free. But if there's something and you like what you see, or pass on some information you can use, if you want to say thanks, you can donate to the channel via super chat, super thanks, or you can buy some Brooks's Bass Corner merch. We've got caps, t-shirts, hoodies. There's 170 items in the merchandise store, so you get something for your money. So if you buy a cap, I think they're about £15. I don't know, probably $17.50. You get a cap with our logos and stuff on, and I get an affiliate commission from Spreadshirt. So go and check it out. I haven't put any links or anything in the description box, but if you go to any other video here on the channel, go in the description box, you'll find the links for Brooks's Bass Corner merch. Lauren Elizalde, is that right? Hello, my love. Hello, my love, back. Melodic True Metal, cool. Thank you. John Cooper, if you can make it next Saturday, yeah, Coco, I know the date. I when they announced that date, I already had the festival in Ipswich, and I knew we would be playing early. I knew our sound check was early, and I knew we'd be finished by 6:30. I've held out the hope that I might get an evening gig, because we're done by 6:30. It's getting back from Ipswich to wherever a gig might be. And I know what's going to happen. If I go and buy a ticket for Marcus Miller, a gig's going to come in tomorrow. But so far, nothing has. So maybe I'll leave it till the middle of the week. And if nothing's coming, and I think the logistics can work, I'll get there. It's just whether I want gear in my car in Camden. Personally, I don't, but If there's a way I can stow it with the band or get one of the band members to take my guitars with them, then we're good to go. Love British accent. Thank you very much. Okay, lots of thumbs up from Melodic True Metal. Thank you. Rock fan. I'm still new to this stream. That's cool. I didn't know you had a merch store. I do. Thank you. Now I know. Yeah, we do loads of t-shirt. I tell you, the gear is great. And that's not just me saying it because I want to sell it. The gear is great. That's why I wear it. It's the t-shirts are great. It all washes really good. We do mugs. Do you want to see some mugs? I'll get a couple of mugs out. Bear with me a moment. Oh. Brooks's Base Corner mugs, of course we do. There's one. There's another one in there somewhere. Not that one. It's not that one either. But it could. Ah, here we go. You're making me clear out my mug cupboard. Right, where are we? Here we go. If you want mugs, we got mugs. There's loads of them, different designs. So there's one with the same logo as the t-shirt. And there's one with the original logo. It's looking a little faded, but it has been washed about 500 times. So I'm not surprised. But the colours are still relatively bright. Just the red's faded a little bit. It's all good gear. So if there's anything you like, have a look. Like I say, there's about 170 different products. And there's about 15 different designs. So if you feel a bit uncomfortable donating to the channel, then by all means buy some merch. You get something for your for your money, and I get a small affiliate commission. Teeth aren't in today, clearly. So yeah. Loads of lovely merch. Let's have a look here. What do I think of Steve Harris? Love Steve Harris. Unique player, and still doing it. You know, after nearly 50 years of top level playing, still doing it. But he is unique. He's quite a player. You like both of those mugs? Well, I think the mugs are about £13, I think. Could be wrong. About 13 though. Stacey, yes, those mugs have held up very well. The black one especially. The white one, like I say, has done about 500 washes now, so we've had that for 2.5 years. But you know, hasn't chipped, hasn't cracked. The logo's still there. It's just been in the dishwasher 500 times, so it's all good. John, you were at London Stadium for Iron Maiden last Saturday. Very good, outstanding. Steve Harris was galloping like a trooper. Very good. I get your gag. If you got any questions about basses, amps, pedals, anything you've seen on the channel, don't ask me how I got Lee Sklar on. That would involve me giving you his email address, and that's not going to happen. Hey, John Cooper, nice to hear that. John's fabulous. John comes to see my disco show band on occasion. A lot of my, I used to work in a covers band. They all knew Steve Harris. We used to play in Chiswick, and I think he may have come to a gig once or twice. I know Yannick and Adrian Smith came to see us at Shepherd's Bush Walkabout in about 2000, 2001. I knew who they were. They were heaping praise on us because they didn't live down the road. And they knew Steve and Pete in my band, so. Zazati, hi, good to see you. Welcome. Ooh, high fret there. I don't use this bass very often. It hasn't come out of the bag since about 2018. But it was bought as a backup. And actually, Adrian Smith, here's a story for you. You'll like this. So Adrian Smith, guitarist from Iron Maiden, I am assuming he still lives here, unless he's moved, but he used to play tennis with my next door neighbour, and he lives in the village where we are, sort of about a mile down the road that way. I don't think I've ever seen him, but I wouldn't. It's not like I know what his face looks like. I know if I look at a picture, I go, oh right, that's Adrian Smith. But if I bumped into him in the village, I wouldn't know to say hello. But there you go. Rock fan, if money was not a concern, what is the best bass and amp for the music you play if you're a multi-millionaire? Well, I've already got the best amp, which is an Aguilar DB751. Best amp there is. Nothing better. Not on the market as far as I'm aware. Opinion is up to each individual, but the fact that all the big players, if they're using hiding gear, will use an Aguilar DB751, kind of says it all. And I've got one, so that's fine. Best bass, if money was no object, I'd have an Alembic Series 2, but in a slightly smaller body design. There's lots of things. I'd have a load of custom stuff built, probably, for different sounds, different tones. I'm quite fortunate. I've managed to afford most of the gear I want, so I'm good. Actually, do you know one thing I would have if money was no option was I'd buy my birth year vintage Precision and a Jazz. That's what I'd do, because those prices now are getting ridiculous. Starting at around $4,000 for a 72. But it's all right. Vintage instruments aren't something I particularly hanker after. Never have. Gaz, good to see you. It's a Washburn AB-10 semi-acoustic preamp, XLR and jack on the bottom. Fitted with rotor sound, half wound, pressure wound. It's the product name. Where's it made? This one, made in China. I bought this in 2016, so I guess it was made probably in 2015 or the first half of 2016, but it says made in China on the back. Oh, there we go. But it does the job. Like I say, I bought it as a backup. It wasn't particularly expensive, and you can buy these second hand for about 150, 200 pounds. They're not particularly expensive. That's what you do with your 71 Jazz. Very good. Love it. Just feels special because of that. The States is still your go-to. Haven't touched the thumb since. Didn't think you would. Remind me, John, on your status, do you have the grub screws in the headpiece? Did that bass come with the grub screws? I'm only asking because JJ Bass, who recently bought an S4000, didn't have the grub screws, and I have a load of them in the garage. Although he bought 4, and one didn't make it in the post, so I sent him a spare one. Rock fan, can vintage bass from the 50s and 60s sound as good as today's bass instruments? Different tones. Don't even try and compare them. It's a different thing. The 50s and 60s ones sound good because the wood they were made from had been standing as trees for hundreds of years. Instruments now are made from wood that's probably grown for about 10 to 15 years, 20 years at a push. Different sound, different timber density. The pickups were wound differently. It's a different process back then, really. So comparing a 50s and 60s bass to a current one, it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's a different thing. Take them on their merits. It's what I say for every instrument. Take it on its merits. It's a different thing. What's that? Numair HP. Any suggestions on electric guitars? You're about to buy one. Guitar or bass? I'm about bass, not guitars, but I can try and help you. It will completely depend on your budget. Sakti Kapoor, play something bluegrass. Nope. Sorry. I don't play anything that's familiar. I'm just noodling. It's called frummicking in the business. Just playing a load of nonsense. Because we don't do play-alongs because I don't want copyright problems. Gareth, country of origin doesn't mean as much as it used to. I completely agree. There's been a few bass reviews and demos on the channel where people have lost their heads because something was made in a certain place. I've had to point out to them this is completely irrelevant. A good bass is a good bass, doesn't matter where it was built. Can't read that message because that just looks like a load of old gobbledygook, so we'll pass on that. Favourite bands? Queen, Duran Duran, Level 42, Chic, Prince. We start going through a few things. Graham Central Station, Sly and the Family Stone, Living Colour, Thin Lizzy. There's just so much. In Excess, so many bands I like. Toto, Extreme, Spin Doctors. I could go on forever. But my big bands that I grew up with were Queen and Duran Duran. But there's loads of stuff. I mean, if you see my CD collection, there's about 1,000 CDs in there. Mr. Big, you know. Do I pop and slap? I certainly do. That for you. John Cooper, grub screws, yes, all there, very good, but you use double ball end strings, okay, so not use them, but I keep them in. Yes, keep them in there, don't take them out. That's what happens, people take them out and then lose them. Have I ever seen The Rain? I have, and I played it with Bonnie Tyler for 4 shows, so yes, I've definitely seen The Rain. Zazati, would you recommend getting acoustic bass? Depends what you've got to play. Let's think. I bought my first semi-acoustic, an AB-34, AB-40. I keep saying 34. AB-40, which is like the expensive big brother of one of these, second-hand in about 2001, because I was working with an originals artist that was going to do a load of acoustic shows, and I was always going to buy one of those anyway, so that was fine. So I put that to bed quite early on after turning pro. And then around about 2015, 2016, I started doing a lot more acoustic duos, acoustic trios, just to pick up cheap gigs at weekends. And that's why I bought this, was to give me a backup if a string went on the other one. And then about a year after I bought this, I got the Ibanez semi-acoustic, which you'll see reviews and demos of on the channel. I brought it out on one of these impromptu live chats a little while ago. Different sound, different playability, Ibanez neck, what's not like. And so I've got 3 electroacoustic basses, and they work great. But if you don't need one, you don't need to buy one. It just depends what if you're going to just buy one to have sitting around the house, then there's no point spending more than about 150 quid, 150 pounds. But if you're going to be out there gigging it, get the best one you can afford. But try them, they're not all the same. And sometimes a cheaper one sounds better and does the job better than a more expensive one. And look at your string choices that you put on. They all sound different. Sushan Rai said, hello, good to see you. Rock fan, I learn a lot just watching your streams. Well, thank you. Well, fire away questions. You know, anything you want to ask, just ask. That's what I'm here for. Spreading the information and advice. Oh, blimey, there's loads of messages there. Melodic true metal. So you like rock? Yeah, I do. Some hard rock bands, yeah. I'm not a metal fan. That's not my thing. It never has been. But certain things can get a bit lively, a bit hard rock. You know, Living Colour are no shrinking violets, and I love their stuff. So all good. JP, ooh, that's great. Thanks, pleasure. There's loads of thumbs ups. That's great. Thank you. Please feel free to give the video a thumbs up. That'd be most appreciated. Sue Shan Wright, play Have You Ever Seen the Rain? I'm not doing play along, sir, because we get hit with copyright claims, copyright strikes, all of that. Can I play AC/DC? Played many AC/DC tunes in my time. Have I ever had a bass stolen? No, I've been very lucky on that front, thank you. I did leave a bass sitting outside where I lived once, drove 15 miles away and realised I hadn't put the bass in the car. And thankfully, when I drove back, it was still at home, so I got off one there. Or during or after a concert, no, I've had no thefts. I've had a bag stolen at a gig where I got out my car, put the costume bag at the top of the stairs at the Roadhouse in Covent Garden. We were loading in through the back doors. And what then transpired and the theft that happened meant from that point on, they always had a member of staff on the back door. But back in 1999, they never used to put staff when bands were loading in on the back door. And me and the guitar player put our bags in, went back to the car, and in the time it took us to literally walk about 10 feet to the car and get some gear to bring in, a tramp had walked in, nicked the bag and run off. So he took my costume, so he wouldn't have liked the clothes, and I know he didn't like the clothes because the bag and the clothes were found the following day. But he did take my wallet and he did take my mobile phone. So, but no, not had any gear stolen, thank you. Did you ever get it back? Never lost any, thankfully. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Steve Higginson. Is that Steve Higginson, father of James Higginson? Based over sort of East London, Essex way. I know James Higginson. So I'm wondering, and I know his dad is Steve, so I'm wondering if that's you. And if it is, you'll know Nick Owen, used to work at the Bass Centre. So, anyway, good evening to you. Hope you're well. I am, and you're a Northern Soul fan. Nothing wrong with that. Can I play a little? I can play a lot of things, but I'm not going to be playing anything that you recognise because I'm not going to get hit with a copyright strike or a copyright claim. Do I like Europe? Yeah, all right. I was more a Bon Jovi fan. Deep Purple, well, I know Don Airey. Does that count? I've interviewed Roger Glover. Does that count? Yeah, I do like a bit of Deep Purple as it goes. Pink Floyd, I'm not that keen on. Never have been. I know Guy Pratt. I've got a Betsy in the rack. Yeah, never really got into Pink Floyd. Queen were my bag. Just as I've never really got into Led Zeppelin. It came before me, really. I'll be honest, I find Robert Plant's singing really grates on my nerves. I'm not a fan. It's not my dad's name is Andrew. You're in Nottingham. Okay, Steve Higginson. Well, Steve Higginson of Nottingham, thank you very much for coming on to the impromptu live chat. Rock fan, have I ever played in Japan? No, it's on my list. I'd love to go and play in Japan. I did cover for a bass player called Ed Paul, who plays for Bonnie Tyler, and the reason I was covering for him was he was on tour with Yazawa, is that correct? Who is basically Japan's version of Paul McCartney, and he used to do Yazawa's tours like every year, and Ed was off doing that when I got asked to stand in for him with Bonnie Tyler. But no, never been to Japan. I would love to, I really would. But as I get older, unless I start playing with someone famous, highly unlikely I'm ever going to get the gig out there, so, which is a shame. Likewise, I've never played in America. and I don't play with any names at the moment, so unless that changes anytime soon, I doubt I'm ever going to get to play over there, which is a shame. I have contemplated coming to see Queen on their next tour if they play Japan again. That may happen. And I'm good friends with Neil Fairclough, who plays bass for Queen. So you're curious, are you, John? You can get cream for that. YouTube is full of players who do play-alongs. How do they get around the copyright thing? You don't know that they don't. Well, anything that they play, if the algorithm picks up on what the melody or the lyric or a rhythm or the harmony is, they will get hit with a copyright claim, and they come in different forms. So the copyright publisher or songwriter can choose to have a percentage or the whole amount, and you get told by YouTube you can either remove the audio, go through with the copyright share, or okay, Ollie, thank you. Yes, I'm well aware Mum's at the door. But in that situation, they've either got to split the earnings or give them up. The other option is if you know, Ollie, enough. If they did it's like an ice pick in the brain. I get it all day. If he did or someone did an Eagles cover or a Don Henley cover, then you receive a strike because Don Henley doesn't even get into the discussion. Ollie, pack it in. He doesn't even get into the discussion. He just slaps you with a copyright strike. You get 3 strikes, channel's gone. So I don't even go near that territory. I just steer very clear of it, and it's not worth the hassle or the grief. So as much as I can, hello, no, you can come in, it's all right. I'm just on a live chat. Just do what you can. No one's going to see you. It's only at head height. So I'm not willing to go down that avenue and then suddenly find my channel's gone. So that's why I tend to sort of give it all quite a wide berth. But I have done the gig vlogs lately, and you'll notice I try to not put any vocal or singing there because that's what alerts the algorithm. And there's nothing to say that as time goes by, I could get a strike or a claim from any of that. So, because when we upload the videos, it goes through a copyright processing, and it will tell you if there's a problem or not. But that doesn't mean there won't be in the future. So you don't know. And also when I'm doing videos, yeah, I could do 1 million play-alongs. I could probably have a channel as big as Daisy Pepper and all the other bass players and guitarists that do play-alongs. But the problem is that one day the copyright guillotine is going to fall, and those people are going to find their channels gone in an instant. If you've got loads of videos that are play-alongs, you're going to get 3 strikes, bang, bang, bang. Before you know it, the channel's disappeared before your eyes. So I just don't even bother going near it as much as I can. But if I got a thing through from YouTube to say that gig vlogs are in kind of making the algorithm throw out copyright messages, then I'll just take those vlogs down, or I'll share the copyright or whatever. Do I know any Kanye West or Kid Cudi songs? I do. I'm not playing any though. Zazati, any niche genres you're interested in or at least curious about? Well, I'm not a big jazz fan, but there's plenty of jazz fusion bands that I can listen to albums, and big Weather Report fan. Stanley Clarke, Marcus Miller, Miles Davis. But I don't tend to listen to stuff that doesn't sort of float my boat really, and I know what I like. So, rock fan, you'll get a backstage pass then if you go and see Queen play. Yeah, probably. You're a lucky man. Neil and I have known each other for about 10 years. Get on like a house on fire, and he knows I've always kind of got his back if he gets any grief from Queen fans. So it's all good. Gaz, have you ever been to the Nam State show? No, I haven't. We didn't well, basically the magazine would go and they'd only send Joel. And a couple of times I said, is there a possibility I might get asked to go with you so we can cover loads of stuff? And he went, no, no, publisher's not going to pay for you as well. It was like, okay, well, he said, well, if you want to pay for your own flight and your own hotels and all that, I was like, no, no, I'm not that bothered. And certainly when COVID hit, no one knew it was about to hit. So that show in January 2020, a lot of people came back very ill and they didn't know why. So kind of count my blessings I didn't do that. As I said before in a live chat, I'm not sure how much longer the NAMM show's got to run, because a lot of companies are ploughing their advertising budgets into YouTubers and social media influencers rather than paying out huge amounts of money for shows. And I know over the past couple of years, people who've gone to the last couple of shows have said it's very different to what it was pre-COVID. So we'll see. We'll see. It's not something I hanker to do, Gaz, to be honest. It's, yeah, it's a lot of noise and a lot of people trying to show off. It's not really my thing, really. Dawson, good to see you. Top of the morning to you. I hope you're good. Rock fan, have you ever had to kick, push, punch a person to get them off stage? Yes, I've done all three. Haven't. I thought it said pinch, no, punch. Yes, done all three. Did I get injured? No. I did threaten to smack someone over the head with a status empathy, at which point they knew it was time to go. But if I take the Keith Richards approach, if you come up on stage and it's my territory, you take your life in your hands, because I don't know if you've got a knife, pepper spray, anything. I'm not going to take the risk. So if you come up there, you better be ready, because I will just throw you straight back off the stage. I don't tolerate nutcases. If I'm on a gig and the singer, if we know someone, or if it's a birthday or something fairly innocent, then that's fine. I have no problem with that. But when you get nutcases climbing up on stage, you weren't invited. You're going back down onto the floor. But like I say, I have no problem taking a bass off and going for it, you know. I'm the one that's got one, not you. And it's not a sword battle. And these things hurt. You catch the edge of it, whether it's an acoustic or a solid body, you'll know about it. Oh, that's gone. Just slipped out of tune. These strings haven't been tuned in ages. Ooh. It's not bad. Oh, there we go. It's all good. There's a message held for review. Know what this is going to be. Danny Anderson, dickhead. Okay, Rock fan, what's your favourite recording studio? What I've been in? Here's a question. Haven't been in any for a very long time. I went to, there was a place up in Runcorn. I can't remember what it was called. I think it's closed down, where I did the recording for the Steve Newman album, signed the Modern Times back in 2002. And that was a really nice studio. Nicely laid out, lots of room. It wasn't all cluttered and claustrophobic. And their live room was great. Remember that. Gareth, one of my pet hates, people trying to ask if you know a certain song while you're playing another song, expecting an answer mid-song. Correct. I normally shout at them, ask me in the break. Don't ask me while I'm gigging. Dawson, what is that bass? It's a Washburn AB-10. Semi-acoustic. XLR and jack there. Battery goes in there. Preamp and tuner there. Yeah, acoustic hollow body. It's electroacoustic, semi-acoustic. Simon VD, hello from across the channel. Welcome, sir. How you doing? Very welcome onto this impromptu live chat. Just thought I'd check in with the crew. I haven't got a gig tonight. I've got one tomorrow. If across the channel, so you're in France or you're in America? Lewis Wingrove, good to see you. Belgium. Okay, very good. Happy Independence Day to the those of you in the US. Semi-acoustic, Dawson. The action seems a little high. Ish, not too bad. You can set it too low, you're just going to get a load of buzz, and you don't have all the saddle height options without getting your files out, and I don't particularly want to do that. So it sounds good to me. Considering I haven't played it since 2018, it sounds great. Oh. Yeah, sounds good. Probably appropriate for a semi-acoustic. It is very good. The other one, the AB-40, that's the real deal. That's the one with better sounding preamp. I mean, the build quality is very good, but the AB-40 was made, now, probably around 1989, 1990. It's great. In fact, Lee Sklar has exactly the same model, and he says he uses his still all the time. Gareth, can I name a song that caught you off guard when learning it? Whoa, yeah, plenty. It was more complicated than you expected, yeah. Straight off the bat, looking back, it wasn't complicated at all. But the song is long. And well, I used to be in a Green Day tribute, and we didn't do Jesus of Suburbia to start with. We only started doing that about 7 or 8 months into it. By that time, that had been released, I think, as a single, like an edited version, or it might have been an early download, but they'd been doing it obviously on their tour for American Idiot. And we eventually plucked up the courage to give it a go. And actually, when you listen to it, it's not that bad. There's a lot of repeating sections, but you had to break it down into chunks. And I remember going into rehearsal thinking, yeah, I know it, practiced it, it's fine. And then you realise, Christ, you've got to piece all these 1 minute sections together. And it was a little trickier than I thought, but it was fine. Got there. Trying to think. When I've depped for things like 80s bands, that can sometimes throw you a curve, because a lot of the time you're replicating synth bass lines. Oh, tricky one, actually. So it's tricky, it's not that hard, but getting the tone right and getting the feel right is Whitney Houston. Want to Dance with Somebody, trying to get that right. I tend to use an octave pedal with that when I play it, but it's the sort of thing, you can't just put the octave on and leave it there. You've got to drop it in and out in various sections of the song. So a lot of the 80s stuff can be a bit trickier than you think. I think what else? Dex's Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen, it sounds simple, but it's because you get into a position thing with that, and then it shifts for the chorus. So that can be a little bit of an eye opener. 18 wheels on the highway. That's a lot of wheels. Shout out to the amazing creator. Oh, you came on, yeah. I don't know what you're plugging. What's your favourite content creator? Well, I like the way you're getting people to put comments into my description, so that's all very good. Thank you. I noticed you messaged on my impromptu live chat yesterday. Dawson Walters, I put some English double cream in your coffee today. That'll put hairs on your chest, Dawson. It's time for my dinner shortly. Do another 10 minutes or so, and let you enjoy your Friday evenings or afternoons or mornings, wherever you are. Got any questions? about bass guitars, bass amps, bass effects, let me know. Do my best to help you. Stacey saying hello to Dawson. Can I go more into the tonal profile of a JD bass? Yeah, so you were asking about that on the live chat the other night. So as I said, humbuckers aren't humbuckers, they're split coil. So basically you've got two precision pickups in there, which is why you get more of a mid-range bark. And the EQ does a lot of the sound on that. The through neck, set neck, I think they are, also contributes a lot. Depends really. I mean, everyone refers to the JD bass sound, and basically they mean the Mark King bass sound. But you got to remember, he's got treble on full whack. For a lot of the time, he's on the back pickup only, and the JD pickup selector, as you move between the three settings, changes radically. So the back pickup tends to be quite sort of thin sounding. Having both on is my preference. You get a really good bottom end, good mid range, good top end. You go to the neck pickup, it's very precision like, and again, depending where you've put the neck pickup, some have it really close to the neck, some have it a little bit further back. If you have a classic one, the classic, which is a series one, the pickup is really close to the fingerboard, and you get that sort of woofer, Billy Sheehan humbucker at the neck element to it. So it's pretty much you got to try out the different sounds on it. Why are you thinking of getting one, Dawson? It's a serious investment. If you're going to have one made, 4 years waiting list. Second hand, they come up all the time. So I would suggest to you, if you're thinking of having a JD, get a second hand one. And there are cheaper models called the Roadies. There's a Roadie 1 and a Roadie 2. And then you get into the Series 1, Series 2, Series 3 Supernaturals. Gareth, I remember learning Cherish by Calling the Gang. Calling the Gang bass lines are fabulous. Sorry. A few years back, and that caught you off guard. Yeah, Calling the Gang stuff's great. Lewis Wingrove, quick question. 212 cab or a 410? What are you going to be doing with it, Lewis? Are you just playing at home, or are you going to be gigging with it? If it's staying at home, get a 212. If you're going to be out gigging with it, I not downgraded at all. What am I on about? It was my preference. I used to carry around 410 cabinets, and I then they were EBS Pro line, killed my back. I then bought a Neo 212 and paired it with an extra 210, and that rig, and I've still got it. To me, was better. I'm starting to find sometimes using 410s with a tweeter that with my empathy, the sound could come a little brittle. And sometimes I'd be playing on the G string and it was just going ding, ding. I was getting too much of the percussiveness, not enough of the note. I moved to the 212. It was a revelation. I mean, if you want to go full whack, you can have a 4x12 cab. Most companies do them. But the 212, the 12-inch drivers just get you a little more rounded without the extreme percussive. You'll still get that on a 212 if it's got a tweeter there. But a 410s are great. I've used them for years. I've still got all my 410s. But I just like that 212. Just works. I'm spoiled. I can use whatever gear I want. So. But yeah, you kind of need to have a listen to them. But it depends what you're going to be doing with it. If you're going to be doing gigs on stages and you want loads of air moving, you're probably going to plump for the 410. But like I say, you could use a 212 cab and a decent amp. It's going to do the job. But Alternatively, a 212 and a 210. I really love that. I love that setup because you're getting the best of both worlds then. John Cooper, thanks for your company, of course, always, mate. A pleasant and unexpected surprise. Well, you know me. I like to pull surprises on people. I hope to see you in Camden. I will keep you posted on that. If I know I'm coming, I'll message you. Tempted to bring the pick guard off Messiah and try to get a signature. You can try. You can try. Dawson, my mission is to map out every bass brand in your mind to have a better understanding of the world of bass. YouTube is your savior because you don't actually need to leave your house to do it. You can hear all these basses online. We didn't have that back in the day. You had to get your backside off the chair and go out into the world and go to the music shops and try these things, which is why places like the Bass Centre were so fabulous, because they had literally everything in there. Which is why I ask about a new brand each stream. Good for you. Well done, Dawson. Lewis, okay, 212 practice. Yeah, also 212 cab is going to be smaller than the 410. So it's not going to take up so much floor space at home. What brand do you think you're going to go for, Lewis? Different brands, their dimensions are different. So the EBS one tends to be slightly wider and shorter than the Aguilars. The Aguilars are thinner and taller. So they're more like stacked 212s, whereas the EBS one, it's more like two 212s on a wide spacing, but with the Aguilar it's like that, whereas the EBS is like that. Gareth, you have both 410 and a 210 mark bass cabs, but I'm using the 210 more. There you go. Once you get into smaller cabs, the thought of having to carry a 410, whether it's a Neo or not, is enough to put you off. And I look back and I think, how the hell did I used to carry 410 cabinets about? I just did. You did it. Wasn't any option really. But once I started going down the Neo cab route, it was like, well, this is just great. And I've had very few back issues since. So, Oklahoma Jim, you like the acoustic bass? Cheers. It's a Washburn AB-10. No frills really, just a nice looking bass, bit of cream binding for you. Preamp and tuner, XLR and jack socket and battery all there. Do I play with a plectrum? Yes, I do, on occasions. I haven't got one to hand, but I do. I play in a Queen tribute band, I play in a disco show band, I play in ABBA tributes, I do covers, I do functions, corporate events, lots of different stuff. Sometimes play in Oasis tribute bands, so plectrum is very much required. Howard, good to see you. Happy Friday. Hope you're good. Lewis, now I need some growth in my amp. 1200 watts or 700. You won't need 1200 unless you're going out to play. Simple as that. You could probably do with a 500 watt amp, to be fair, and that'll still be way too loud. I've got 200 watt Class D amps here, and they barely get above like 3 out of 10. Gareth, what's your thoughts on the orange bass cabs? They're okay. The orange has a very specific tone. You either like it or you don't. I've been through the physics of those cabs because I did quite a few reviews of them. They are what they are. You're not going to get a strong, powerful, clean tone out of an orange base cab. Simple as that. If you want lots of distortion and grind and dirt in your tone, they'll be fine. But they're not my cup of tea. Yeah, isobaric. That's the term. The coat, you have like one facing the floor and one stacked, and then there's another one behind a baffle. It's ornate. I'll give them that, but not for me. Time to go and get some dinner in a moment. Gareth, Orange have just released a record player. I saw that charging 500 quid for it. It's a money grab. Get a proper turntable. Grab Mahata, play some 7/8 groove. I'm going actually shortly. You've come on too late. I need to go and get my dinner shortly. Lewis, I'm just going with the 700 watts only because the effects loop. The 500 doesn't. Okay, so I'll chill out with what brand, what amp are you looking at, Lewis? And 212 caps. What brand? What amp? What model? Exactly, Gareth. Just like the Marshall Bluetooth speakers. Oh, you're going with Ampeg. Okay, fair enough. Venture series, the new ones, okay. You've done gigs with a 200 watt Trace Elliott Elf and it's had plenty of headroom. Agreed, same here. I did loads of gigs with an Elf and the EBS Neo 212 cab. Plenty loud. So much so the guitarist with his Marshalls said, "Can you turn down a bit?" I said, "I can. Whether I will, that's a whole different question." Very good. Let's have a look here. Hip hop. I'm off for my dinner shortly. Lewis Wingrove, Yamaha owns the West Coast brand. Yes, they do. Yeah, we did a thing in the magazine back in 2020, just as we went in lockdown, an advertorial covering the fact that Yamaha had bought Ampeg. I would imagine and I would hope that that has led to better quality control on their amps, but I don't use Ampeg, so I wouldn't know. Gareth, especially if you're sending a DI signal to the front house, yeah, quite. Heavy metal? No, we're not plugged in, mate. Not plugged in. Anyway, it is what time is it? 7:15 here in London. I need to go and get some dinner. I've got to run my set for tomorrow's Uncle Funk show. Bolero, I can do a polka or a bit of salsa maybe. Aguilar. Go with Aguilar, Lewis. But it would be a very different tone from the Ampeg. So you have to be sure that's what you want, but you won't go wrong with Aguilar gear. So. Right, on that note, guys and girls, thank you very much for tuning into this impromptu live chat. I'll try and catch you over the weekend. There might be one tomorrow when I'm on my gig. If we get sound checked quickly, there'll be a lot of hanging around time. So I might see you tomorrow when we're at Richard Hammond's Castle over in Wales. So on that note, have a great Friday. If you're going out gigging tonight, enjoy yourself. Have a great time. I'll catch you over the weekend. Take it easy. Happy Independence Day. Dave Angel, I'm heading off, get my dinner. Anyway, have a great weekend, guys. See you soon.